Hey traders, Jason here from Leavitt Brothers. Happy New Year. It's been a few weeks since I've posted a video. Two reasons for this. One, the trading environment has been really good, probably the best I've seen in 20 years. So this has kept me busier than normal with my own trading. And two, I'm finishing up my Masterclass. I've put a lot of time into it. I think it's really good. My hope is to finish it in the next week or 10 days and then put the finishing touches on it and launch it by the end of the month. So you can look for that. Today I'm going to flip through some recent trades we've had. This is the best trading environment we've had in a long time. If you're positioned in the right stocks, which isn't hard because it's pretty obvious which stocks are hot right now, the gains have been incredible. I'll be the first to admit this isn't a normal market. Typically we're buying stocks looking for 10 to 20% moves in a week or two. Buy a stock at 20, get a move to 23 or 24, that's normal. But right now, stocks are moving 50% to 100% in a week or so. It's been a while since we've seen a market this active. So all these trades and many more were profiled at Leavitt Brothers to give you an idea of how we operate, the kind of stocks we trade. So let's get into it. All right, so here's AMAT. We don't normally post charts as weeklies, but in this case the semiconductor group was getting stronger, and so we posted AMAT as a breakout trade at 70 on the weekly chart. First target was 85. It was hit in 4 weeks. We got a slight pullback for a couple weeks, a little backing and filling, and now last week the stock took off again. So our price target right now is 100, which the stock got within a couple points of. So this one worked really, really well. And of course, when a stock like this does well, we're digging into the group to see what other stocks there are to play, and a couple of them are going to show up on this list. One of them is Amba, broke out over here in November. We didn't actually see it until December here, so we posted it a few weeks ago. Not a few weeks ago, we posted it last week as a breakout trade. When I post something as a breakout trade, some people play the breakout, some use the pattern as a frame of reference, and they'll buy a dip within the pattern. Okay, so they might be getting early. They might be getting in early. In this case, maybe they're buying in 90, 91, 92, because that way, if the stock goes up, fails at resistance, comes down, they could get out of the trade with a small profit rather than playing the breakout, and then if it fails, they have a loss. So this is a live trade that we're currently in. It's doing fairly well, although Friday was a big down candle. Bloom Energy, this is a stock that we've profiled several times going back several months. There have been several breakout plays, a lot of dips to buy, some false moves too. So we profiled it over here as a trade. You can see our target up there, and our second target is up near 40. Blink Charging, we posted this as a breakout play at 30. As you can see, did really well. I mean, huge volume here, backed off. There are buys here, formed a resistance level at 30, so there were dips to be bought here, and then obviously the stock broke up and did really well. This is one that I profiled on Twitter, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me, because I sometimes post setups there. Here's Clean Energy Fuels. Stock was pretty cheap, down at $2 level, broke out, huge volume here, consolidated, broke out again, huge volume. So we posted it over here when it was setting up. Did we post it? No, I think we posted it here, and then we posted it again. Obviously, it went up a lot. This is not normal. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and pat myself on the back and say, look how good I am. I'll be the first to admit that some of these trades are luck. Okay, but if you know how to pick stocks, then sometimes you get lucky. Okay, so anyone who says oh, it was lucky, it doubled in a week or whatever, yeah, that's luck. That's not normal. But if you know how to pick stocks, then occasionally you get lucky, and you get to keep the money, even if it is partially luck. Okay, part of trading is recognizing the trading environment and taking advantage of it, or recognizing the trading environment and toning things down because there aren't many opportunities. CLSK has been a complete surprise. We posted it first over here when it was, $11, $12 as a breakout, went up, really well, hit our target, lots of volume. Then it set up again, so we posted it again, and then it did this. Again, I'll be the first to admit that it's partially luck, but if you play the right stocks at the right time, then occasionally you get lucky. Fuel cell, This entire group, along with Bloom Energy and Plug, has been really good. Broke out of a long base here. Stock was like dead money for many years. Broke out, huge volume. So we profiled it in here as a trade. Actually, we profiled it over here, but I think luckily they had news of a secondary offering, so stock gap down, but we kept our eye on it, and then when it absorbed that news and started consolidating here, we reposted it as a trade. As you can see, did really well, did some backing and filling, and then last week we profiled it again, and you can see it's done really well. Again, I'll be the first to admit this is not normal. You don't normally get moves from 10 to 16, 17 in a week. Part of it is luck, but sometimes when you play the right stocks, when you're a good stock picker, you get lucky once in a while. Grow Generation, this stock is one that we started playing back in the teens over here. It took a while to get going, but eventually moved up. You can see a nice volume here, consolidation pattern here, broke out, and then we profiled it again going into last week, and you can see what happened. Couple days inside the pattern, opportunities to buy on intraday charts, and then stock actually broke out. This is still a live trade for us. Solar stocks were doing really well. JKS was a lagger within the group, but I just figure, hey, if the group is strong, this stock is probably going to just bounce within the range. So the range being somewhere in here. So when the stock actually came down here and formed this, drew a trend line here and said, hey, I'm not looking for a big move, but just kind of a move back to the previous high just to stay within the range is probably going to happen. That's what took place. LAC, this was we played this one over here, at least I did, but it ended up being a false breakout. I bought it like somewhere over here, false breakout. I ended up scratching the trade somewhere over here. I don't remember. Maybe I made a little bit, but not much. But I kept my eye on it because the group was strong. Lithium stocks were strong. They're closely related to electric vehicles, which were doing well. So we kept our eye on it. Did a little double bottom here, moved up, and then when it was consolidating here, I reposted it as a trade. I really like this. I like stocks that come down here and kind of do like a false move down, trap the sellers. Holders will dump positions, they panic, some shorts will get excited, trap them all, drive it up on big volume here, hold the gains, and then boom, you can see what happened last week. So our target was 16. Obviously, it just went right through our target. Marathon Patent, we've been all over Bitcoin. We posted this as a trade way back here in November when it was over here. I think my first entry in this was 245, 250. I don't know. Somewhere in the mid twos was my very first entry, and it's been on our list like nonstop since then. Okay, Bitcoin's doing well. We were all over it from the beginning. Obviously, stock moved up, did some backing and filling, moved up again. So we've profiled it. It's hit our target. We profiled it again, a new pattern. It hits our target. Last weekend, even though the stock right here closed below what we consider to be a support level, I still profiled it as a trade because I thought it was going to go higher. Even if it did some backing and filling here, I felt it was going to eventually turn around, and that's what happened. On Monday morning, it gapped up, sold off, but then Tuesday it just took off, and then just went crazy. Okay, is it luck? Yeah, it's partly luck. There's no question about it. But if you play the right stocks, then once in a while you will get lucky. Maxer, more of a traditional play, moved up, symmetrical triangle pattern, breaks out, volume down here is pretty good. This is a live trade of ours. MOGO, dead money for a while, cheap stock, but out of nowhere it gaps up and on massive volume, does some backing and filling, some consolidating in here, and then it breaks out, and then we posted it as a trade here. Okay, I'm not really that quick to play cheap stocks, because if this event here truly was something that changed the company, then it's going to consolidate, move up, and consolidate and move up, and I'm not that worried about getting the first move. I'm okay waiting for it to break out, like it did here, break out, consolidate sideways. If you go into intraday charts, there's going to be a moving average that comes in, and you could usually get a dip off that moving average and play And you can see each one of them moves up here. Look at all the the volume surges. So on a percentage basis, this one was really good. I'm going to go a little bit quicker here because I don't want to make this too long. Micron, another semiconductor stock. It's a live trade for us right now. Moved up, consolidated, moved up again. NEO has been on our list since like last spring. I started playing the stock when it was single digits. Took a bigger position like in 12, 13 range. And I've been in and out of the stock with a core. I've had a core position since way back when it was single digits. And I've traded around that core position over and over and over, just like buying, taking profits, selling puts. Sometimes those puts expire worthless. Sometimes the stock gets assigned to me, and then I'm just like riding it back up. So most recently, when the stock was here, we profiled it as a bounce play, just looking for a bounce within the range. Then I established. Then even though it hit our target and hit. Got rejected by 50, which is a nice big whole number. Even though it dipped back, tested the 50, I established a second target. And then just last week, the first couple days when it got above 50 and then established itself up there, I put another target in up at 70. So this is a live trade. It's been a live trade for months for us. I have held a core position for many months and just traded around it. It's been good to us. PACB is a stock that we've profiled several times, moved up, consolidate, broke out, came back down and tested the previous breakout area, which is fine, and then broke out again. Lots of volume here, consolidated again. So this is a stock that's been profiled at Leavitt Brothers several times going back a few months. Plug Power. Like Fuel Cell, it's been a stock that was dead money for a long time and it's come to life recently. We first profiled it way back here, September, where it had moved up and then it was consolidating and had very clean resistance level over here, just under between 15 and 16. Broke out, came back, tested the 50 plus, tested the previous resistance level, and trended up. So most recently, we profiled it here as a trade up. Okay, the fact that it did this is pure luck, but as I've said, you play the right stocks and you get lucky. Riot Blockchain, my biggest trade as far as profits go recently. The first time I profiled it was back here when it was just $3.50 or so. That was my first trade. Moved up, had a few consolidation days, moved up. We had this one day here during Thanksgiving week that I remember because I had a big position and it gapped against me. But I was pretty confident that that Bitcoin was, like the move in Bitcoin was real and it was going to keep going. So I just held on, and sure enough, it's done this. So most recently, we profiled it here just as a, strong stock trending up, consolidates, breaks out, and look what it's done. It's done incredibly well. SM oil stocks have perked up. So this was a stock that we profiled, went to our first target. Now we're getting close to our second target. Sunworks, another solar stock, took a while. We profiled it back here in mid-December. Broke out, took a while to get going, and then finally last week, I guess you can say we got lucky because it went crazy. It was one of the biggest winners on that particular day, that big candle there. Tesla's a stock that we profiled. We profiled it first back here. Obviously, the stock had run up huge over here, consolidate for a couple of months, breaks out. You can see volume here. Over here it was the largest car company in the world. I mean, it's larger than most other car companies combined, and then it turned around and doubled anyways. Does it make sense? It makes absolutely no sense. There's no way they could justify this price, but the trend is up, and I'm not a billion-dollar trader who is going to struggle to get out of a position. If it reverses, then you can just get out. Okay, if you're a massive fund that's trading billions of dollars, you have to, you're kind of like a big boat on the ocean. It takes longer to turn. Okay, but I assume if you're listening to this, you're probably a smaller trader and you could get in and out fairly easily. So who cares if the stock's overvalued? Who cares if they can justify this price? Okay, so nothing fancy here, just strong stocks doing well while the market was trending up. Okay, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.